Yo, what's up? This Blue Inks, aka Giovanni, bro. Giovanni Reacts. We finna get into this video, as you can see by the title. A 9-year-old boy burned grandma for being too old. You gonna burn your grandma for being too old? How bogus is that, brother? Why would you do that to yourself? Like, why would you do that to grandma? Wasn't she just cooking you hot meals back in the day, bro? Like, you know what them grandmas known for, so what you doing this to your grandma for, bro? That's sad, bro. We need grandmas in this earth, in this world, bro. That's crazy. Hey, but look, we finna get into this video. Let's see what it's talking about. This video is 42 minutes long. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole video, but we gonna cut it to where we at least get about 30 minutes in. This shit, the grind don't stop, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. I might end up with fucking 40 views, bro. I don't care. We gonna get to this shit, bro. You feel me? We gonna get to it, bro. But yeah, we finna get here. Get to it.
Middle of nowhere.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We think we found a body out here.
Makes you think that?
It's in a road, and somebody had put it on like a mattress or something and burned it. And it looks like it has bones in it, and you can see intestines and guts, and I don't know. That's weird.
A grandson who claimed his hand was forced.
My grandmother said, "I'm too old. Will you please kill me?"
Until one of the detectives just happened to notice a very small drop of blood in the entryway hallway next to a carpet cleaner.
Well, I would assume that she's or something.
Okay, so you don't see Drake at that point?
No, not at all in the house.
Okay.
This is the tragic story of Marilyn Gandert, who was betrayed by her own flesh and blood. Welcome to the channel, where we bring you the truth behind the headlines and the events that lead up to the tragedies, with actual body cam footage, videos, and audio to get to the truth. Today, we bring you a story so unusual, gruesome, and cruel that it's almost shocking how everything fell into place immediately. Before we move on, please click on the bell icon for prompt notifications and hit the like and subscribe button for videos every week. It started early that Sunday morning, January 28th, 2018.
Albuquerque Police, how can I help you?
Yes, this is Harry Gandert. I'm at my sister's house, and she's not here. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her, and she usually gets back to me because I call her every morning and night, and she has, and the phone has been offline.
At exactly 6:56 a.m., a call came into 911 from a man named Harry Gandert. He was 62 and lived about 20 miles south in Albuquerque.
And the phone has been offline.
Okay.
Her name was Marilyn Gandert. Her phone had been off for hours. That alone was enough to make her brother uneasy. But there was more.
And what's your sister's name?
Marilyn Gandert. Well, her vehicle's here, and that's how she travels. I mean, my note that I left yesterday is still in the door. I'm getting worried now.
Her car was still in the driveway. A note he'd left the day before, still tucked in the door, untouched. All signs pointed to the same thing. She hadn't been home, or at least not moving around. Harry didn't like it at all. As officers arrived and began piecing things together, they started with Harry.
Not answering the door. Her phone is like it goes directly to voice messaging. I left a note there yesterday. Well, still there.
Okay.
Her vehicle is here. Yeah, 'cause I'm really nervous.
Do you have a
She's
key?
got the. No, I don't.
He explained what he knew again. His voice was steady, but the worry was leaking through. He said he rang the bell, knocked on the door, nothing. The phone was still off, going straight to voicemail. The car hadn't moved. Then came the part that hit a little harder.
They said they haven't heard from her at all. So they did everything they could. They put notes on her door to see if she was gonna like respond back. See, they can get nothing. So that's pretty interesting. Like that will raise some suspicion. Like if my mom not answering, like they had to come out their house at least one time out the day. You feel me? So that would be pretty strange to me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Marilyn didn't have many friends.
She doesn't have that many friends.
For us, every day is refreshing. Whether it's delivering an order to a friendly customer or setting up a new dispenser, we make staying hydrated effortless. With high-quality, great-tasting water delivered.
But now my mind is going everywhere. That
No, I
got kidnapped.
I'm with you, sir.
Her life, Harry said, had shrunk over the years. First, her husband passed. Then, her son, Ryan, took his own life. After that, she drifted into solitude. No drama or trouble, just quiet. Most people wouldn't have thought twice about a missed call, but Harry knew his sister. She was reliable. When she didn't pick up, it wasn't an accident. It was a warning, one he didn't fully understand yet. As Harry was talking to the officer, a woman walked up to them.
Are you worried about Marilyn too?
Yeah.
I haven't get a hold of her for a couple of days, and it's just not like her.
No, it isn't.
So have you gone in? Did you have a key?
No, I don't have a key.
Do you have a key?
No.
No? Okay.
Marilyn's best friend, Nancy Robinson, heard the news. She'd known Marilyn for years. They worked together at the post office. Marilyn never missed a shift, never missed a call, and she certainly wouldn't leave her dog's home alone like that. Police searched the house for a way in. No signs of forced entry. No broken glass. No signs of Marilyn. Just nothing. And sometimes that's the worst kind of clue. The officers moved around the property. When they reached the backyard, they tried peeking through the blinds, but nothing inside was visible. Then they circled back, and that's when they saw it. The back door was wide open. It was the kind of detail that didn't make sense, and that's what made it so unsettling.
This whole time, bro, that's automatic red flag, bro. Oh yeah, go ahead, go in, bro. This a crime scene, bro. She ain't answer the door in the front, bro. I left her a note. Oh nah, bro. That back door, bro, that's real back door. That means somebody really back door. Who back door grandma, man? Oh, the grandson did, bro. That's crazy, man.
There was a lot of red flags that were happening.
Nancy, but the officer stopped her.
I'm gonna go inside, okay?
Why? Best friend.
I understand that, but there might be somebody in there.
There could still be someone inside, possibly armed, so it wasn't safe for her to go in.
Come over here. I'm gonna wait for another officer. We're gonna go inside, and then we'll get everything taken. I just don't want you to be getting hurt, okay?
Backup finally arrived, and the officers approached the open door.
Once backup arrives, Officer Barnhill and the other responding officer approach the open sliding door.
We walk up to the back door.
Residents, this is Albuquerque Police Department. Coming inside, you need to make your presence known. Don't come to the front door with your hands open and empty. Do it now!
The officers called out as they crossed the threshold as standard procedure, but no one answered.
Ready? I'm gonna keep along just the danger zone of the kitchen and just kind of cover right side by side to the right.
Room by room, the officers moved carefully.
I'll step in and clear this. Stepping out. Clear. Cool.
I think this is the garage in here.
Through the kitchen, into the hall, past the garage.
Alright.
The officers clear the house, finding it empty, with no trace of Marilyn.
It's clear, man.
Nothing looked broken or forced, but then came a strange detail. They spotted pill bottles and medical papers scattered around.
I'm trying to think best case scenario at this point.
It didn't look like a fight had happened. It looked like someone left in a hurry, or was taken before they could gather their things.
I saw a lot of pill bottles, and I saw a lot of hospital kind of paperwork.
Dude, I bet you she's in the hospital. Yeah, this doesn't.
Then they saw it. The house keys, still hanging from the front doorknob outside.
Then, the officers find something strange.
Yeah, the keys are on the door.
Marilyn's house and truck keys are hanging from her front doorknob.
I don't leave the house without my wallet.
A lot of weird stuff just seems happening.
Harry had pointed out earlier how strange it was. The police agreed.
Back outside, Marilyn's friend Nancy tells officers that Marilyn also owns a nearby rental property where her former tenants had just moved out.
Marilyn was gone, and not to a hospital either. She had simply disappeared.
Nancy said she drove by that residence looking for Marilyn.
Nobody was there as far as I knew, because I just looked for her vehicle.
Oh, okay. You didn't knock on the door or anything?
I did not knock on the door. That's what I was getting ready to.
It wasn't long before the search expanded. Marilyn owned another house just next door. She used to rent it out to her daughter-in-law, Alyssa.
She had that money. She had that guap. Oh, yeah. She was living her life, bro. That was all coming from exercise checks, man. Disability checks. And then you want to just bond her. All right.
Officers drive to the rental residence.
Nancy told the officers that Alyssa and her family had recently moved out, but maybe they had seen Marilyn before she disappeared. So police walked over to check things out. It was the next logical step. And maybe, just maybe, something would click. They found the garage door open. The officer approached the parked truck.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base
Bro, this
44,
shit is not cool,
a complete
bro.
AI
This shit
creation
is not cool. Hey, but I'm confused on why is the truck parked like that, though? Like, the truck is literally parked halfway into the garage. That's weird, though. I'm not saying that, like, nigga, who can't do that? I mean, somebody probably occupied in that house and stuff, probably was out there, but bro, what? I don't know. There's something just not adding up right, bro.
Hi.
Hi, can you come on out a second?
Yeah.
So, what's going on?
I'm moving out.
Okay, what's your name?
Alyssa.
They found 43-year-old Alyssa outside. She was mid-move, carrying things out of the house. Her son Drake was around. So was a friend named Annie.
Officers meet Alyssa Bickett, who had been renting the house from her mother-in-law, Marilyn, and is the widow of Marilyn's son, who passed away in 2014. Also living at the house was Alyssa's son and Marilyn's grandson, Drake, and Annie Rael, a friend of Alyssa's.
The timing was interesting. Boxes stacked, things being cleared out. It looked routine, but police took nothing at face value now. Alyssa explained she was there to finish moving.
And the owner knows you're here getting
Yeah,
your stuff?
she on Friday, she said come on Saturday morning and get the key.
She even offered to show her text history just to keep things straight.
It just clears a few things up for us.
No, that's fine. I said I'm going to come by in about an hour for the keys. I don't have, like, the okay, because, like, but I told her when I am. And see, she wasn't answering me, but she doesn't always answer me.
So the last one you got from her
was at 10:35 on the 26th. That was the Friday.
Okay.
But she was here that day, you know, and we were hanging out.
Alyssa scrolled through her phone. She pointed to a text Marilyn sent on Friday, January 26th, around 10:35 a.m. They had spent time together that day, and that was the last time she saw Marilyn.
You know where she would be right now?
I don't, and that's
Because somebody's trying to report her as missing. Because Marilyn is being entered as a missing person, they want us to do a walkthrough on this house.
Okay, that's fine. Perfectly fine. I have no problem.
I appreciate it, Alyssa. It's a box to check.
So, police explained the situation. Marilyn was now a missing person. They needed to do a walkthrough of the house. Alyssa agreed immediately. Alyssa was cooperative. She had nothing to hide.
Right, where are you moving to?
Oh no.
This one?
I had it a little close. I'm getting there. You can open that door if you want. That's a closet.
She didn't have a place to move to, but she had to leave. The officers asked if Alyssa had any idea where Marilyn might be now.
She didn't come yesterday, and I expected her to come by, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought, she probably just...
Right.
Sometimes she gets mad and won't even talk to me, and she's mad at me, but she was been pretty cordial with me. I said, I'm just trying to get my stuff out.
That wasn't unusual. Marilyn would sometimes go quiet when upset and avoid contact for a while. Despite turning up nothing in Alyssa's house, detectives walked away with something far more valuable, a timeline. It wasn't airtight, but it was something to work with. And in a case like this, something was better than nothing. Marilyn wasn't just anyone. She was in regular contact with her brother, her best friend, and her daughter-in-law. All three said the same thing. Marilyn had vanished. Marilyn wasn't someone to just drop off the face of the earth. But let's go back a couple of days. The night of January 26, 2018, a woman was driving home from work in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Just another cold winter night, or so she thought. That's when she noticed something on the side of the road, a dark, smoldering pile. Black smoke was still drifting into the air. Something had been burning, and recently. She kept driving, but the image was stuck in her head. Something about it seemed strange. In the morning, she came back, this time with her husband. Daylight peeled back the shadows. What they found was worse than either could have imagined. They didn't wait. The man grabbed his phone and called the police. The 27th of January, 11:42 p.m., police received a call.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We think we found a body out here.
And what makes you think that?
It's in a road, and somebody had put it on like a mattress or something and burned it. And it looks like it has bones in it, and you can see intestines and guts, and I don't know. It's weird.
Deputies responded to the call to ensure the caller wasn't mistaken. They arrived at the dirt road.
Hey, here's.
Every time I hit a bottleneck, I build a new AI employee to crush it. I used to say that I had one AI employee working for me 24/7.
Like it looks like it has lips and teeth in there. Okay, yeah. I don't know if it's real or.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It might be exactly what we think it is, so.
Even from a distance, it was clear this wasn't just trash someone had dumped. One look at the charred pile, and the deputy ran back to his car to report it.
And we couldn't tell last night at all. I mean, when I drove through here last night coming home from work, it just looked like charred remains, charred something.
And what time approximately did you see it last night?
I came home, it was 1 o'clock when I came home.
1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
What made you all come back out here? Just to see what was going on since last night you guys couldn't tell? Is that what it was?
It was a body. It appeared to be small enough to be a child, possibly a teenager. Bound with metal restraints, twisted tightly around the wrists and ankles. The right foot had been severed clean. The mouth was frozen open, as if screaming long after death. It wasn't just a body. It was a message. someone wanted this found. The first suspects were the couple who called it in.
All right, folks, so listen, this is what we're going to have to do, okay? Because we have to treat everything as if it's a homicide investigation. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is I'm going to just get pictures of each one of you. Doing this for us. Make sure, no, you're right there. Now, underneath.
The suspects are the ones that called them first. This is gonna be interesting, bro, because people really do be playing in people's face. You don't ever know who the real suspects are, for real. So this is getting interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
They're blocking off the whole area.
It was just standard procedure. So far, they were unable to identify the body. Who is this? Police began fielding calls as soon as the news broke. Dozens of tips came in, each pointing to a different missing person. But one stood out. Nancy called the hotline, and she feared the remains belonged to her friend Marilyn. Detectives requested Marilyn's dental records and passed them to the office of the medical investigator. It didn't take long. The body on the mattress was indeed Marilyn Gandert. The following day, detectives arrived at Harry's home to deliver the news in person. They told him what he already sensed deep down.
So I told you I was going to keep you up to date as to everything that's going on. The body that you suspected in Rio Rancho, the burned one, was positively identified as Marilyn.
Oh, God.
Why don't you have a seat, sir?
Yeah, sit down.
He broke down, unable to hold back the sorrow. Marilyn wasn't just his sister, she was the one constant in his life.
Never hear her voice. I mean, she was just a wonderful person and a very wonderful sister. And
Now we gotta figure out who did this, because I'm not sure who could have been in this situation where they had this much animosity to burn her. And she seemed like she's a very peaceful, quiet person too, at that too. So me personally, I really want to understand why. But we're gonna figure it out though. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna see.
I miss her every day of my life. She was the type of person who would do anything.
It wasn't supposed to end like this. Not for someone like her. She wasn't the type to be caught up in danger. Harry couldn't understand how something so horrific could have happened to someone so ordinary. He remembered that Marilyn had been dealing with a stressful situation right before she vanished.
She was, like me, solitary.
She liked to stay home?
By herself, yeah. She had just a few friends, like Nancy.
Did she rarely leave the house?
Yeah, I can't think of what she was leaving. Oh, I think right now she was going with the process of eviction, getting things started with moving. Lisa lies all the time, and, she would promise to pay the rent and didn't. And she just got tired this time.
Her daughter-in-law, Alyssa, had been living in one of her properties and not paying rent. They weren't family in the traditional sense. Their relationship was strained. Not exactly the kind of bond you'd bet your life on. Marilyn's decision to evict her, simple as it seemed, might have been the final spark. What troubled police most was that Alyssa hadn't said. When they'd spoken to her earlier, she claimed she was just moving out. There's a big difference between moving out and being evicted. Why hadn't she been clear with the police? Did she want them to downlist her as a suspect? Look elsewhere? Or was it a simple wrong phrase? In a case like this, lies, even small ones, have a way of pointing to something bigger. The detectives had their work cut out for them. They had a body, they had a name. Now, they needed a scene. They spoke to Nancy, who revealed some interesting details.
That kind of self-serving, depraved behavior. Who does something like that? Why? You know, it's just like an animal.
Marilyn's home was the obvious place to start, but a thorough examination turned up nothing. No blood, no signs of a struggle. The house was clean, undisturbed. Whatever had happened to Marilyn hadn't happened there. So they shifted their focus to the other house, the one Marilyn had been renting to her daughter-in-law, Alyssa.
I don't know what's going on with my audio, but it was off. But I'm gonna get this shit straight, bro. This is like my first reaction video, but I'm finna be doing this shit consistent. So I'm finna get to this shit, bro. I got like 2 microphones that I'm probably gonna end up trying to hook up to it so it can be a lot better. But yeah, bro, this shit is crazy, bro. Real talk, bro. You would never know. You gotta see through people's lives, bro. That shit crazy. Crazy.
Bickett. Alyssa had recently been evicted from that property. It wasn't a friendly move. According to Marilyn's brother, she'd had enough of the lies, the missed rent, the tension. Now, with Marilyn gone, this rental house carried new weight.
She too has suspicions about Marilyn's former tenant, Alyssa Bickett, who police have just learned had been evicted.
You know, I don't want to, I don't want, you try not to be in the way, and yet you try to, I'm looking for her. I'm coming for her.
Right.
Because I ended up calling 911 on Sunday morning because Alyssa shouldn't have had the keys in the first place.
It was clear she was choosing her words carefully. The next person on their radar was Marilyn's grandson, Drake. After the eviction, Drake and his girlfriend, Nikki, moved into a hotel.
We want to find out who's telling us the truth. We want to find out, how does Alyssa have these keys without Marilyn's permission?
Detectives dig into Alyssa's and her 20-year-old son Drake's backgrounds and discover Drake has a criminal record.
Our understanding was Drake was staying at a hotel because they didn't have a permanent place to live.
Emotion, motive, opportunity. It was all starting to take shape.
I would say 3 or 4 days ago, my grandmother was telling my mother that we were getting kicked out, so then I was helping her move out.
Drake also mentioned that Marilyn had shown up at the house during the move. It wasn't a major detail to him, but to detectives, it mattered. If Marilyn had come to the house that day, and that was the last time she was seen alive, then this could be their crime scene. Detectives noted something strange about Drake. He seemed detached.
She was really upset.
So we wanted to see what his side of the story is. Why he hasn't seen his grandma in a couple days. Is he gonna make up a story like his mom's? We need to see who's telling the truth and not telling the truth.
Calm in a way that felt...
Truth to be told, they all in on it. If this is true, bro, I know for a fact they all knew what was going on, bro. She your own blood, bro. That's crazy, fam.
Unnatural, barely awake, almost concerned. But he was only 19, and detectives gave him the benefit of the doubt, at least for the moment.
So, your grandma, we found her, but she's dead.
Where at?
Well, we believe that it's a...
Hey, come on, get up. Get up. Time to put you in handcuffs. That nigga said, where at? Bro said, where at? Nigga, your grandma dead, boy. That's the problem with you white C's. Bro, that's your grandma. You talking about some where at? Nigga, I'd be like, bro, who did this, bro? What you mean she did? Oh, shit.
suspicious. Okay, we think someone killed her.
When?
And I'm really sorry.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
That makes you feel sad.
The problem with this response was that Drake was more surprised by the fact that his grandmother had been found rather than her ultimate fate. No shock, no questions, no grief.
I'm trying to get all my times right.
He didn't seem to care at all.
Is there anything now you may have seen?
I know exactly what that means. I got myself some bullshit, man. They catching up with a nigga. Let me go ahead. That blood rushing on him, man. He feel that blood rushing. It's catching up to the man. That's crazy. We're gonna see though, bro. I don't know. I'm not gonna assume that he's the actual person, but I'm leaning towards him, bro. Crazy.
Or heard that you think, okay, that's kind of out of the ordinary, something that I saw or someone that I talked to or a conversation?
I haven't heard or seen anything.
The officers then headed to the crime scene, the house Alyssa had been evicted from.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Because Alyssa is at the house, investigators obtain a search warrant, concerned she may be destroying evidence.
Alyssa was already there, trying to gather her belongings. Or so she said. Her presence got them a search warrant as she could be trying to destroy evidence.
Okay, is there anybody else in the house?
No.
All right, step up on me. Okay. So this is the situation, okay? We actually have to secure the house.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get all my stuff out.
Okay.
Like,
All right, so unfortunately, I can't let you go back inside.
I have things in there.
Unfortunately, I can't.
Officers didn't let her re-enter the house.
So she says.
This is the Albuquerque Police Department. Make your presence known. Make your presence known now.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix. Now this whole flow is a conversation, so your words actually build your website. I'm going for a store.
Officers work their way through the house, clearing every room.
At first glance, the place looked clean. The officers went from room to room, clearing it as they went along. But then just inside the entryway, they spotted it. A single drop of blood on the wall. Small, but enough to shift the entire mood of the search. As investigators worked through the house, word reached Alyssa. Marilyn's body had been found. Her reaction was flat. And what troubled detectives more was that during the initial conversation, she never mentioned anything about an eviction, just that she was moving out. But now, they knew better. Nancy, one of Marilyn's few close friends, filled in the blanks. Marilyn had been growing frustrated. For years, she had supported Alyssa, especially after her son Ryan died. But enough was enough.
Like that?
Marilyn wanted rent, respect, or both. Offering either. Marilyn had finally decided to sell the house, change the locks, and cut ties. Alyssa, when questioned, painted a different picture. She claimed the process had been peaceful, that she and her friend Annie were simply moving out with no drama. But Marilyn's locked doors and supervised visits told a different story. That's when Annie Rael showed up in the driveway.
It's then that another person pulls up to the scene. It's Alyssa's roommate, Annie Rael. The police approach her.
We just like to ask you some questions. We're trying to clear things up.
I'm very confused as to what's happening.
When they questioned her about Marilyn,
Tell me about her. Tell me about her.
I don't know her. I don't know a whole lot.
she claimed she didn't really know her.
Did you meet Marilyn at all last week?
Yeah, so she was here when we were
Oh, she
moving
was?
stuff.
Okay. Tell me what she was doing here.
She was in her vehicle, she was in and out of the house, she was nagging everybody, telling us like how to move out. And,
really?
and then she came at me and she said that, You know this is your fault. You know why they're getting evicted, right? Because of you.
Her tone was defensive, but her body language was tense. And the more detectives pressed, the more uncomfortable she became.
This is weird. Like,
I
I
know.
don't like. I already know what's happening.
Tell me what you think's happening.
No, like, I just don't like the way I'm being approached and questioned.
In the meantime, further details of Marilyn's body were shared with the police. She had been brutally murdered, drenched in gasoline before being set on fire. As detectives processed these new revelations, they turned back to Alyssa. Her story, which had seemed unremarkable at first, was starting to unravel.
I want to get my things out first.
Nobody can go back until the search warrant's completed. You gotta understand.
I know, but I want my clothes and I want to go to my hotel and I want to sleep. I'm tired of moving.
I understand. All right.
I just want my clothes, that's all.
When questioned, she went on, monotonously.
Because she said she goes to work on Monday.
Okay.
Okay. That she wanted to take the weekend. She's like, come over in the morning and get the keys.
So she's telling you to come over in the morning and get the keys from her. And that was the last time you spoke to her?
No.
Okay.
I went on Saturday morning to pick up the keys.
So you went over to...
Around 10 o'clock. And I just knock on the door, get the keys. She says, give them to me on Sunday. And that's all we said. That was it. Not even another word.
But that didn't align with what detectives knew. Marilyn had been dead by then. The timeline didn't make sense, and the more Alyssa spoke, the stranger her story became. Alyssa's shifting story raised alarms. The detectives could no longer afford to ignore the growing suspicions. They had no choice but to take action.
Your story doesn't match. That's
Try to make sure they're not
that's
too
what's
tight,
going on. This officer's going to transport you there. You're going to meet with another detective, and we're going to sit down and have a chat, okay?
They handcuffed both Alyssa and Annie, taking them into custody for formal interviews. A search of Annie's truck revealed medicine bottles and blood. She was quite literally caught red-handed. The time for polite questions was over. They had their suspects, and they were about to find out what the two women knew. They even took Drake into custody back at the hotel.
You have any weapons on you, man? No, sir.
Detectives also arrest Drake back at the hotel and bring him to the station.
Step on out.
The detectives were prepared for a breakthrough, but when Drake was brought into custody, they didn't expect the chilling confession he was about to make. His demeanor had been nonchalant in earlier interviews.
Enjoy the show and save with the Flex Your Credits electricity plan from Alliant.
Attention, Team Kringle.
Mount up! Streaming of a bright Christmas? You're gonna love Christmas in July on Hallmark Plus.
This is my favorite part.
Now you can...
But now...
Add, excuse my language, I do want to see his point of view, bro, because I feel like he is the main suspect just because of how the way he actually went about it, bro. Like, he was the one that went out there to the hotels. He's the one that just did all that stretching and stuff. Like, he just, like, that was like a clear sign. So it was like, why would you not want to question him and get a confession out of him? Because I feel like he blew it off. He blew it away, bro. I feel like he's the one that blew it away and made everybody else seem, suspect just by how the way he was moving about it too. It just flipped everybody else's story. It fumbled everybody's story and stuff too.
As the conversation took a darker turn, the weight of his words shifted the entire investigation. The interview started with a blunt statement from the detective.
I wrote a warrant for you for the homicide of your grandma. So I'm actually charging you with the homicide of your grandma.
Okay.
Okay? I've already had your mom, your mom's arrested.
Yeah.
And Annie is arrested.
Okay.
Okay?
Drake didn't seem shocked or fazed. His next words, however, would change everything.
So I have enough probable cause to believe that you were involved in the homicide of your grandma.
How so? Oh yeah, you're the detective.
I am the detective.
I'm gonna tell you the honesty.
Okay.
Then came the revelation that sent shockwaves through the room. Looking straight into the camera, Drake spoke without hesitation.
My grandmother said, "I'm too old. Will you please kill me?" Multiple times, drunk and sober.
Okay.
That is honestly.
Drake claimed that his grandmother, Marilyn, had asked him to end her life. He explained it with an unsettling sense of matter-of-factness, almost as if this was a twisted form of duty he had been forced into. It was as if her words had been etched into his mind. A justification for an act he might not have otherwise committed. Drake's words carried a weight that hung heavily in the air, and the detectives pressed him further, trying to understand the full story.
So you're saying that at some point your grandma asked you to kill her?
Yeah.
So do you remember that date?
I don't remember the date, but that's what she
Maybe
wanted.
not the actual date. I'm not asking you for the date, but can we go back to that date in your memory and tell me what happened?
They needed the details, the date, the time, the method. They wanted to know how he had gone from being her reluctant caretaker to being the one who ended her life. His recollections were fragmented, but the core of his story remained the same.
I was there, and then she would be like depressed, you know?
Right.
And she for certain said that. I know she said that.
Okay.
So I
understand.
I passed her away. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So how did you do it?
Just essentially. That's it. Like that's a without a lawyer or a public defender I'd like to share.
The detectives were hoping for more, but Drake wasn't ready to give them the full picture. He stopped short, refusing to go any further without legal representation. It was a shut door, and the detectives were left with more questions than answers. Drake had said just enough to confirm their suspicions, but not enough to solve the case. It was a confession laced with a chilling sense of finality, but the true story of Marilyn's death remained out of reach. Alyssa told a completely different story. The more Alyssa spoke, the more contradictions arose. Her version of the events painted a different picture, one where emotions ran high and violent impulses took control.
Drake shuts down and he asks for an attorney.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style, at any scale, just by thinking about it.
But Drake is like, look at my mom, this is our house, can't we just stay here one more night in our own beds? And she said no. And so he was crying and he left out the back door. I stayed in my room. And at that point, I did hear Marilyn yell. And I went out there.
Alyssa's fear was evident as she described what happened next. Her emotions tangled in a mess of guilt and anger.
And Annie is on her back. She's on the ground.
So Marilyn's on the ground
Marilyn's
and
on the ground
Annie's
and
on
Annie's
top
got her
of
knee
her.
in her back.
Oh, she has her knee in her back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is Annie doing to Marilyn?
Hitting Marilyn's face. And so I'm kind of panicking, but I'm mad, and I did hit Marilyn.
In a desperate moment, she confessed to hitting Marilyn and tying her up.
I tied up her hands and legs, and I helped her put this bag over her head.
Do you remember what you did it with? What you tied her up with?
Yeah, it was like phone cords and stuff like that. Then there's other one that Annie gets, put it around her neck, and I hear it snap, but I don't know if it's the cord. I'm just like, I gotta go.
So you heard something snap, whether it was the cord or Marilyn's neck.
Right.
You're not sure. Alyssa says she kind of freaks out and she needs to get out of there.
It was hard.
Where her keys were still in the door. You feel me? I'm trying to figure out how did her keys lead to just being in a door like that though, just hanging on the door. Motherfucker, they just snatched her ass up from behind and be like, bro, like how did her keys and shit end up being in the door?
Hard to tell whether Alyssa was trying to just or simply recounting the sequence of events, but the terror in her voice was unmistakable. As the interrogation continued, Alyssa's version of events began to shift, particularly when she described the aftermath. She left Marilyn alone with Annie for a short time, but when she returned, she found Annie wiping a bloody knife.
You left.
Well, I would assume that she's or something.
Okay, so you don't see Drake at that point?
No, not at all in the house.
Okay.
Each person's testimony revealed a little more of the horrifying truth, yet left detectives questioning who was the mastermind and who was merely following orders. Alyssa's final confession added a chilling chapter to the story.
Then we unload the mattress, and I poured gasoline and I lit it up.
But there was one aspect of her story that didn't add up. She seemed to distance herself from Drake's involvement, claiming she had no idea where he was during the critical moments. The detectives' doubts only deepened. Alyssa's attempt to minimize Drake's role and the incomplete details of her story made her less credible by the minute. It didn't seem to make sense. If Marilyn had already been beaten into unconsciousness, why would Annie, who had no known motive to kill, suddenly stab her? The detectives struggled to reconcile Alyssa's version of events with the evidence. Holes in her story were already apparent, and the next step was clear. They needed to hear from Annie. When Annie was brought in for questioning, her account added another unsettling layer to the narrative. It was all planned.
So, and then when Drake got there, we all were in Alyssa's room getting high. That's pretty much when Alyssa, she had brought it up before about killing Marilyn. I still didn't think we were gonna do it. I thought she was joking. She just told me when she nods, because she would pretend that she was the Don, like the Godfather. She just told me when I nod, get her.
Annie's recollection painted Alyssa in a different light. Alyssa wasn't merely a passive participant. She seemed to take on the role of a ringleader.
And Marilyn was coming in. Drake was like, can you just let us stay? Look at my mom packing. She was like, no. Alyssa looked at me and Drake and nodded, and I looked at Drake, and he started walking behind Marilyn. It
was undeniable.
Now is the perfect time to prepare for a career with a future. At the College of Healthcare Professions, you can start a new medical career in as little as 9 months. CHCP has...
This had been a brutal, premeditated act, carried out by a family bound by violence,
all they doing is yapping now,
and desperation.
They are the killers.
In May 2018, the long-awaited arrests were made. Alyssa and Annie were taken into custody, and both later faced charges for the brutal murder of Marilyn Gandert. Alyssa and her son Drake confessed to the second-degree murder of Marilyn Gandert. Facing eviction and overwhelmed by anger, Alyssa, along with Annie and Drake, carried out a coordinated and brutal attack on Marilyn. They beat her, restrained her, suffocated her with a bag, and ultimately stabbed her to death. Her body was later dumped and set on fire on a...
Anyways, yeah, that toxic, man. It took 3 people to kill a grandma because she was too old. I mean, it could have took just one. I mean, I'm not finna encourage that. Hey, violence is never the answer. But look, bro, ain't nobody, deserving their life to be taken like that, man. That's the worst way to get your life taken away is being burnt and set on fire, bro. I would never want that even for my worst enemy. I'm gonna be honest, not even for the worst enemy that I have, I wouldn't even let that happen, man. Hey, but thank y'all for tuning in. Whoever watching the video, shit, we finna be consistent. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Inks. If you're trying to get tatted up, you see my Instagram right here. Be more consistent. I'll be back with more videos, man. Peace out.